Alright, in last lecture, first lecture, we had seen what is electromagnetic wave, introduction of electromagnetic wave, Ampere's law, and of course right hand thumb rule, Fleming's right hand thumb rule. We know the equation of Ampere's law, that is close integral B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 sigma I. We know the significance and meaning of each and every term in this equation. And lastly, we had seen that electric current produces magnetic field around it. Maxwell, you are very much aware about the invention of Maxwell, his unified electricity and magnetism. Maxwell said that not only electric current, but time varying, very important words, time varying electric field can also generate magnetic field. So basically, Ampere said that electric current produces magnetic field around it, which can be found with the use of Fleming's right hand thumb rule. Maxwell said that Ampere's equation is, Ampere's statement is true, but not only electric current, even time varying electric field, that is dE by dt, can also generate magnetic field. He explained with the use of an example of charging of capacitor. He has considered a parallel plate capacitor. This is conducting wire. This is positive plate of capacitor and this is negative plate of capacitor. He allowed a time varying electric current I of t, to pass through this wire. Now consider a point P. This point P is outside the capacitor. Consider an Amperian loop, circular Amperian loop, which is passing through this point P. That means point P is on the circumference of this Amperian loop. The radius of this loop is small r. That means length of this circular loop is equal to its circumference, which is equal to 2 pi r. Now, this plane, the current is flowing perpendicular to the plane of the circular loop. Okay. With the use of Fleming's right hand thumb rule, I am putting this thumb along the direction of electric current. So this finger's encircling indicates that circular magnetic field around it, like this. That magnetic field is along the circumference of this loop. That means at point P, direction of magnetic field is along the tangent drawn at this point. Now, according to Ampere's law, close integral B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 sigma I. B vector at point P is along the direction of tangent drawn at point P. Divide the entire circular loop into infinitesimally small line element whose line element vectors are dl vector, dl vector, dl vector. At point P, the direction of dl vector is also along the tangent drawn at that point. That means at point P, B vector and dl vector are in same direction. Therefore, at point P, B vector and dl vector are in same direction. So theta would be 0. In first theory, we had seen that B vector dot dl vector is equal to B dl cos theta. Theta is 0, cos 0, 1. So it becomes B into dl, taking B to be constant. Integration, close integral dl is equal to 2 pi r. Therefore, B into 2 pi r is equal to mu 0. Here sigma I is I of t. Sigma I is, we have only one current over here, so sigma is equal to I of t. Therefore, we get the equation of magnetic field B is equal to mu 0 I of t upon 2 pi r. This is the equation of magnetic field at point P. Remember one thing, this point P is outside the plates of capacitor. And whatever the magnetic field we get at point P is due to this I of t, this current flowing through this wire. So basically, whatever the magnetic field we get at point P is due to this statement, that electric current can produce magnetic field. Yes, this electric current produces some magnetic field at point P, whose equation is given by B is equal to mu 0 I of t upon 2 pi r. But Maxwell suggested one more point, that time varying electric field can also generate magnetic field or produce magnetic field. Now the actual concept comes. Maxwell said that there is some missing term in this equation. There is some missing term in the equation given by Ampere, because in the equation of Ampere, sigma I is only I of t. Maxwell said that, okay, fine. If Ampere's equation is applicable in each and every situation, then this Ampere's equation is applicable for this circular loop at point P, which is outside the plate of capacitor. Now what happens if we extend this shape between two plates of capacitor also? Then he had taken an example of capacitor but changed the shape. This is time varying current I of t, circular loop, but changed the shape like this. This shape of surface is considered as pot-like surface. Pot-like surface. This is positive plate. This is negative plate. We know that there is some electric field between two plates of capacitor pointing from positive plate to negative plate in this direction. This is electric field E vector. As this current I of t is time varying, this electric field is also time varying. So if this equation is correct, then we can have some magnetic field for this surface also, pot-like surface also. Here the surface, or we can say Amperian loop, is circular. But here, this shape is extended up to pot-like surface. By applying Ampere's law for this, the current is not passing through this surface. So if we apply Ampere's law for this entire surface, then we get I of t to be 0. So in this equation, if I of t is 0, B into 2 pi is also 0. So B is also 0. That means there is no magnetic field between two plates of capacitor. As per Ampere's law, we have derived that B is equal to 0 for this surface. This surface is between two plates of capacitor. That means according to Ampere's law, there is no magnetic field between two plates of capacitor. Okay, choose another shape. If we consider another shape of Amperean loop, say for example a shape of tiffin box. These are the words given in the textbook. This shape is like tiffin box. The current again I of t passes through this wire. This is point P. Here also this is point P. This is positive plate of capacitor. This is negative plate of capacitor. Same way for this surface, which is called a tiffin box surface, then also no current flows through this surface. So I of t would be 0. So magnetic field between two plates of capacitor would also be 0. Here magnetic field B is equal to 0. Here also B is equal to 0. That means in pot-like surface also there is no magnetic field between two plates of capacitor. In tiffin box shape also there is no magnetic field between two plates of capacitor if we apply Ampere's law. But Maxwell suggested that time varying electric field can also produce magnetic field. See over here, this current is time varying. That means electric field between two plates is also time varying. Then there must be some magnetic field between two plates of capacitor. But according to Ampere's law, there is no magnetic field. We can say magnetic field is equal to 0 between two plates of capacitor. That means there is some inconsistency in the equation given by Ampere. There is some inconsistency. There must be some term which is missing in this equation. Close integral B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 sigma I. What is that missing term? That missing term is nothing but displacement current. Now pay attention very sharply and focus on each and every statement that I utter. Please. Maxwell said that time varying electric field can also generate magnetic field. પણ એમ્પિયર ભાઈએ તો જે ઇક્વેશન આપેલું છે એની અકોર્ડિંગ સાલું કેપેસિટરની બે પ્લેટ વચ્ચે તો મેગ્નેટિક ફિલ્ડ 0 આવે છે. નહીં શું એમ્પિયરની આંખમાં સચ્ચાઈ નથી? હશે તો શું મેક્સવેલને ન દેખાય? શું મારે એસીપી પ્રદ્યુમનને દયાને બોલાવવો પડશે આ કેસ સોલ્વ કરવા? ના મેક્સવેલ કાફી છે આના માટે. જો હવે મેક્સવેલ સમજાવે છે ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ, પણ અહીંયા હું સમજાવું છું. ડેરિવેશન જોવું છે ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટનું. વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ડેરિવેશન, ધ્યાન આપજો. જો કેપેસિટરની બે પ્લેટ વચ્ચે ટાઈમ વેરિંગ ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફિલ્ડ હોય તો ત્યાં મેગ્નેટિક ફિલ્ડ હોવું જરૂરી છે. મેક્સવેલે એવું કીધું કે એમ્પિયરનું ઇક્વેશન ખોટું નથી, પણ એ અધૂરું છે. એમાં કંઈક મિસિંગ છે. જે સિગ્મા I ઇઝ ઇક્વલ ટુ I ઓફ ટી આવે છે, I ઓફ ટી સાથે સાથે હજુ બીજું કંઈક પણ હોવું જોઈએ. કરંટ જ હોવો જોઈએ. ઈ જે I ઓફ ટી કરંટ છે, I ઓફ ટી કરંટ છે, ઈ I ઓફ ટી કરંટને મેક્સવેલે કીધું IC, that is called conduction current. That is called conduction current. જે always ક્યાં હશે? જે always હશે outside the plates of capacitor. Outside the plates of capacitor. તો હવે આપણે આ I of t ને શું કહેશું? IC, that is conduction current, which is always outside the plates of capacitor, not between two plates of capacitor. યાદ રાખજો, between two plates of capacitor there is displacement current. તો બે પ્લેટ વચ્ચે કંડક્શન કરંટ 0 હોય, ખાલી ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ હોય. પ્લેટની બહાર ખાલી કંડક્શન કરંટ હોય પણ ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ 0 હોય. તો હવે ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટનું ઇક્વેશન ડિરાઈવ કરીએ. સાંભળજો. ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફિલ્ડ between two plates of capacitor, electric field E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0. Sigma is surface charge density, that is charge per unit area. તમને ખબર છે, ચાર્જ એટલે Q, surface area એટલે A, RQ into epsilon 0. Now વાત કરીએ ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફ્લક્સની. ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફ્લક્સ passing through electric flux is indicated by phi. Magnetic flux से હોય પણ electric flux એટલે હું phi E લખું છું. Magnetic flux હોય તો phi B લખાય. Electric flux એટલે phi E લખું છું. We know that phi is equal to E vector dot A vector, that is equal to EA cos theta. theta 0 છે, એટલે આ ઇક્વેશન બનશે EA cos 0 ને cos 0 1, એટલે મને મળે છે E into A. આ કોના ઇક્વલ ટુ છે? ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફ્લક્સ phi E is equal to. હવે આની અંદર ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફિલ્ડ ઇક્વેશન તો છે આપણી પાસે, Q by A epsilon 0 into થશે A. આ A થઈ જશે કેન્સલ. તો મને ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફ્લક્સ નું ઇક્વેશન મળે છે phi E is equal to Q by epsilon 0. અને બહુ સાચવીને રાખું છું, આપું છું ઇક્વેશન નંબર 1. phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. ઇલેક્ટ્રિક ફ્લક્સ નું ઇક્વેશન ગોસ લો માં પણ આવી ગયું છે. phi E is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Now ડિફરન્સિએશન કરવું છે. Differentiating both sides with respect to time. Differentiating both sides with respect to time. So we get phi E. Phi E નું થઈ જશે d phi by dt. d phi by dt. એપ્સિલોન 0 તો કોન્સ્ટન્ટ છે એટલે એમ નામ રાખું છું 1 upon epsilon 0. Q નું થઈ જશે dq by dt. dq by dt એટલે કરંટ, તમને ખબર છે ડિફરન્સિએશન ઓફ ચાર્જ વિથ રિસ્પેક્ટ ટુ ટાઈમ gives ઇલેક્ટ્રિક કરંટ. I is equal to dq by dt. તો આની બદલે હું કરંટ મૂકું I, E થશે ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ I of d. જો હું ઇક્વેશનના ડેરિવેશન ઉપર આવું છું ફાઇનલ. હવે dq by dt ની બદલે હું મૂકી દઉં I of d, id અને એને સબ્જેક્ટ બનાવો એટલે એપ્સિલોન 0 અહીંયા આવશે. Therefore dq by dt is equal to epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. This dq by dt is called id, displacement current, જેનું ઇક્વેશન થશે એપ્સિલોન 0 d phi E by dt. આ ઇક્વેશન ઉપરથી ન્યુમેરિકલ પણ આવશે. આ ઇક્વેશન JEE નીટ ના MCQ સોલ્વ કરવા માટે પણ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. આ આખું ડેરિવેશન 2 થી 3 માર્કમાં બોર્ડમાં પણ પૂછાઈ શકે છે. So id, displacement current id is equal to epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. યાદ રાખવાનું છે ઇક્વેશન id is equal to displacement current id is equal to epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. id is equal to epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. Actually this displacement current is the missing term in Ampere's equation. જે મિસિંગ ટર્મ ને વિધાઉટ યુઝ ઓફ ACP પ્રદ્યુમન CID ની ટીમને કોઈ જ જરૂર નથી, એના વગર જ ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ ફાઇન્ડ થઈ ગયું છે. આગળનું જે કન્ડક્શન કરંટ સુધીનો કોન્સેપ્ટ હતો that was given by Maxwell, sorry, એમ્પિયર. એમાં એક મિસિંગ ટર્મ હતી ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ કરંટ that was found by Maxwell. બે કમ્બાઈન થઈ અને આખું એક નવું ઇક્વેશન ડિરાઈવ કર્યું. That equation is called Ampere-Maxwell equation. That equation is closed integral B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 IC. આટલું ઇક્વેશન કોણ આપ્યું હતું? એમ્પિયરે. પણ આમાં એક મિસિંગ ટર્મ છે, ખાલી IC નહીં, ભેગું એડ થશે ID. This is the complete equation now. So that missing term is nothing but displacement current whose equation is this one, ID is equal to epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. Therefore, elaborate करूं, close integral B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 into IC plus ID no equation epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. This is the final equation. So whatever the missing term, that is nothing but displacement current, that was there in Ampere's equation, which was found by Maxwell. That's why combined with this equation is called Ampere-Maxwell equation. I hope આખી થિયરી તમને to the step, to the point વ્યવસ્થિત સમજાઈ હશે. હવે ફટાફટ ખાલી શાંતિથી એક વખત તમે ટેક્સ્ટ બુકની લાઈન ટુ લાઈન આ થિયરીને રીડ કરશો એટલે તમારો કન્સેપ્ટ સાવ સ્ટ્રોંગ થઈ જશે, સાવ ક્લિયર થઈ જશે. થેન્ક યુ.